Hello and welcome back to the Liminal Branch Library, the archive in the seams. I'm your Archivist Librarian, Mordio Crow, and it's been a long time since I've been here. What, 3 weeks? Something like that. But today is a very special return stream. As you can see, I'm joined by these three lovely contestants. These three tabletop RPG players who will... Let's go down the line and introduce yourselves. We'll get to know your characters a little bit better in a minute or two, but let's start all the way on the far end there, which is Amasha.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
I think they can.
Aha! Hello, I'm Amasha. Are we talking about our characters yet, or so?
I just meant introduce yourself as... Everyone here has a Twitch account, with the exception of Nova, whose Twitch account is, well, this account. So, if you have anything you want to say about yourself, in case anyone does go back and watch this VOD, now's the time.
Well, I'm looking forward to playing. And, I've got my Twitch account under Amasha26, and I play this.
Oh no, I think we lost a little bit of your intro there. The microphone movement. It worked temporarily, but not for long.
Gosh dang it. Alright, I'm holding it now. We got this. I'm Amasha, Amasha26 on Twitch. I stream about once a week on Wednesdays, and we've got this on Thursdays now, and it's going to be a ton of fun.
Yay!
It will be chaos, I'm sure. And sliding...
That's fun.
Very much so. Sliding down the list, next to Amasha, we have Ambone.
Okay, it's been a while since I've fully done my intro, so... Hello everyone, it's I, Bone Regardis Balon Hamilton, aka Ambone, host of Radio Bone Air. You can find me at Twitch Television /Radio Bone Air, where I stream a variety of video games, sometimes silly little videos, and I also do art. Right now I'm actually taking a hiatus for the week because October has not been the kindest to me, but I'm slowly getting back.
It's important to take breaks when you need them.
Yeah, that's just kind of sad. Happened to happen during the middle of the Skeleton, which is the yearly month-long celebration of which I draw skeletons. So I got to get back onto that next week. Actually, I've been doing pretty good lately, so I might even get back onto it tomorrow. Who knows?
Ooh, very nice. And last but not least, the person who shares this channel, Nova.
Hi, I'm Nova Minakawa, your fallen star rising to the top of your hearts. This is my channel also.
Oh no.
Yes, that's exactly right.
But Mordio will be in control of this one, of course, and I will be the humble player who will definitely not mess up any of their plans.
Yes, that's right. I'm in control today, which is why I have my live 2D and the rest of you are all PNGs. No.
Excuse me, I am a GIF. I am
that's
moving.
Right. You're a GIF. You're also shorter than me.
Feels so unenergetic compared to the other two.
So what?
So
unenergetic.
Oh, unenergetic.
Well, if you put your Fugi to bounce, there a little pep in your step, you could do that.
Take a look.
True. Oh, today...
There we go. Okay, it got shouted out everybody else now.
Very nice. So today we're going to be playing, as the stream title suggests, RootRPG, which is all of us first time playing it. There's likely to be some rules, mistakes, etc., but we'll take it all in stride and figure it out in post. Personally, I'm just ready to get into it, to meet our characters, our protagonists. So
I'm very excited for the introductions of us.
Yeah, well then, why don't we get started and get to those quite promptly. We arrive at the woodland, a forest of redwood trees which tower high above the ground and blanket the lands with shade. Ruins and roadways are hidden from the skies above, but the conifers are occasionally parted, most notably by a grand river and the lake it feeds, but small scars of civilization have also made their mark. Not yet clear whether they will fall and the forest will one day heal over and conceal them, as it has so many others, or if this time, society will succeed in creating a lasting foothold here. At the edge of a clearing, a bastion of civilization, a scattering of homes nestle themselves into the roots of some of these grand trees. Great gates of wood and stone are arbiters of passage to the world below, and carts full of the earth's bounty are brought to the surface for refinement. This is Ironroot. Here,
Oh,
the Marquis Ducat. It's alright. You can interrupt me at any time. Yeah.
Don't give me that license.
Okay.
I use it far too much.
You can interrupt me sometimes. Yeah, we'll moderate that.
You just I was expecting to be flung across the map like that.
That's fair. That's fair. That was quite rude of me to say or to do.
The correct response is wee. Wee.
Well, here, where our three characters were recently just flung to, the Marquis de Cat has also recently been ousted in a bloody battle by the Eyrie dynasties. Many of the homes are in the midst of being rebuilt, but the demand for iron from below is never ending, and the Eyrie has supplemented their numbers by hiring mercenaries from the Riverfolk Company to support their reoccupation efforts. And it is here, in the depths below Ironroot, where we'll meet our Vagabonds, mid-misadventure, as they've already found themselves caught up in the power struggles over the clearing. In the Ironroot prison, we see our first Vagabond. Despite being a prisoner, they're still in possession of their iconic tambourine, and we see them beginning to draw a crowd, creating a distraction to buy their allies an opportunity. Hambone, could you describe Milo the Songbug for us, and how they might choose to draw the attention of a bunch of prison guards for a few minutes, maybe 15? A song? Provoke a riot?
Maybe interrupt them while they're trying to eat a cracker. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Got me to Milo the Songbug is a sort of small, gentle creature. They are a woodland creature, but they are in fact an insect. So they are actually, even amongst the mice and squirrels and other such woodland creatures, they are quite diminutive. But they are very, not boisterous, but very calm, very homespun, and on level, or at least so it seems. They wear sort of faded rags of, some might say, a performer. But they do have with them a very worn but lovingly cared for tambourine. And you may be thinking, are they only the player of a tambourine? No. Or they can rub their legs upon one another and create the eerie sounds of a violin.
And with this musical capability, at least I assume, again, feel free to correct me here, what would when Milo creates a distraction, is that typically of a musical persuasion?
Usually. It's not per se a song immediately. It's more like how do I describe this? Like sort of a ramble, like a campfire sort of get together. Like if I were to interpret how that would go, it'd be like, I gotta find the voice real quick. Ew, that's escaping. Alright, you boys over there, let me just tell you a tale about a group of gnomes lived deep down in the mines of the mountain. Now they weren't kind to those who would go to steal and pillage from them. This may not be the safest tale, but it's a satisfying one. And he just kind of like gives a very long preamble before, while like giving it some light and musical accompaniment.
This sort of storytelling is quite unheard of down here in the Ironroot prison, and succeeds in causing guards to drift over from the nearby areas as, well, they're just as bored as many of the prisoners and are eager for entertainment. Some even leave their posts in the labyrinthine prison passages or in the mines themselves to come have a listen, leaving few to deal with incidents on their own, as the rest all hang on Milo's story of underground gnomes and what they do, and the adventures they get up to. As the guards move through the passages towards Milo, we go from where they came. There, a second vagabond is making a scene before a poor single guard who looks thoroughly untrained for this situation and wishing that their coworkers did not just leave them to go listen to this performance. Imasha, could you describe Ember and how she might be pressuring a guard for some urgent aid, whether it's a fake injury, a fake disease, pleading for one sip of booze, something, really needing medical supplies or something, so trying to get something out of it, right? Like something valuable.
Yes, of course. Well, you see, Ember has a wonderfully fluffy and full tail that she is very proud of. But somebody slammed the door on her tail as they were putting her in her cell. So she is absolutely wailing and putting up so many tears and asking for some sort of assistance for her poor tail. Can't you see? It's practically broken! Why would you do this to me? I'm just... and such like.
And with these completely real tears running down her face, matting the fur, and the gestures, the hapless guard is thoroughly convinced and rushing to get the medical supplies Ember needs. Fumbling with the keys, they open the door to one of the offices, and Ember's able to stumble in behind them. With their back turned as they're getting supplies, she's given the opportunity to rifle quickly through some of the desk drawers, and as soon as the guard begins to turn, she slams down into a chair near the door. The beat of Ember sitting down and resuming her sobbing as if the search had not happened at all aligns with that of Milo's distraction as he enters a dramatic portion of his story, and we carry across the passageways to a portion of the prison where we hear splintering and cracking. Our third vagabond, not far from the other two, though certainly not in passages as open, is in a tiny tunnel attempting to break down a wooden wall without making too much noise. Nova, could you describe Miffy Mouse and how she would be balancing speed and sound when breaking down a wooden wall? Is Miffy the forsake silence completely and use something big to just break it down and hope Milo's performance covers it? Or is Miffy more of a carefully prying the boards as fast as she can? That kind of.
Yeah, she's very quick and grabby. This kerfuffled-looking, scraggly, white albino mouse who has the eyes of a murderer always on their face, is like quickly prying the boards open while monologuing in her head. Those furry fucks won't know what happened to them. We're gonna get this so good that my companions, they're all falling for it. They'll get theirs. They'll get theirs.
God.
And,
oh my God.
Perhaps Biffy's internal monologue is loud enough to drown out the sound of the boards finally breaking. And with
My
that,
internal monologue is drowning out the physical sounds.
yes, at least to us, the viewers. As with one more collision of sound, the barrier gives way. Miffy enters onto a catwalk of a tall storage chamber filled with crates, many of them dusted with age, abandoned, rotted. But on the far side, a corner of this storage room has been kept in use. This corner, though the conventional entrance is of a reinforced and locked door that you have now circumvented, you can see hanging on racks weapons and armor. The supplies not for the miners nor the prisoners, but the guards themselves. But you have to be very careful about exactly when you'll take these. But you've made the path. And it's time to see what your companions were able to find. So I will now move us all over to Ironroot Prison, where the three of you all reconvene.
Ooh.
So, Ironroot Prison Mines. Here, there's going to be a lot of information here. We'll get to all of it as needed, but let's focus in right now, down in the bottom left in the prison cells. That night after this distraction occurred, our Vagabonds are in their cells about 5 days into their imprisonment. Milo, your distraction enabled your two companions to get everything that the three of you need to attempt a prison break. Miffy, you located arms and armor, but you'll need to be picky about when you go and get it. You won't exactly be able to hide a spear or sword on your person, and once a guard sees you with one of those, well, violence is the answer, right? Ember, you were able to steal a spare keyring from one of the officers' desks. It unlocks the cells and at least some of the doors here. There's plenty of keys on it, but you don't know how many of them are still in use or exactly where they go to. You also saw that in that same office, there's a stash there of medical supplies, booze, and when you were ruffling through the desk, you saw a series of letters between the mercenary captain who's overseeing your imprisonment and others up above, but you didn't have time to read any of that.
Of course not.
As things are now, the three of you have not been formally tried for anything yet, but you don't know when that will happen or what it will be when it does. Every day they've been taking a small number of denizens away for trial. Most of them do not return. You don't know when your turn will be, or if the missing keys will be discovered, or if the hole in the back of the armory will be found. You have what you need to start your attempt, but there might be ways here that you could make it easier. You stand a decent chance of being able to sneak just on your own. You three are experienced vagabonds, used to slipping by threats if they're needed, or if you need to, but if you do end up tripping the alarm, as the three of you, and a bunch of guards fall on your position, you're in big trouble. So anything you can do before starting the escape to tilt the events in your favor would certainly benefit you.
Where's the hole in this map?
So this is sort of an abstract thing, where basically these are the three main areas of the prison. The other stuff, so like Miffy, the armory is a little bit off map, right? Like that's not something where we have an explicit place.
Okay.
But the office that Ember was in is actually the one down here. So there are other prisoners you guys can speak with. places you've yet to explore. With another day or two, maybe you can do some extra preparations, learn information, whatever it is you want to do. Find some supplies, perhaps that starting equipment that was promised you, right? Maybe you can learn if there's any secret tunnels to avoid patrols, guards that can be bribed, allies who can fight with you. Or maybe you'll just get yourselves caught before you even really begin to attempt to flee. But here's where we're going to start, with the three of you having just exchanged the information on everything you know thus far about your escape attempts. You are certainly able to ask me questions about what your surroundings are and the circumstances you find yourselves in. The very brief thing I'll say first is that the three main areas that you have access to over the course of your day are, of course, the prison cells, where some people are locked up individually, but they don't have enough cells for quite everyone, so there is groups in other cells. They've generally put the least threatening looking people in groups, which does not include you guys at the moment. There's the mess hall where you all get your chance to have a break, relax, and eat. Some prisoners do work the mess, specifically the innkeeper, who you were staying at her inn when you were accosted and brought here. Seems that she's been imprisoned along with you. And then, of course, the mines, where you are forced to work the days away. Though, for convenient for you guys is, while you all are brought to the mines to work, there is a group of denizens which seems to be more familiar with it, who has earned the focus of the guards while you're there, allowing you some time to breathe and speak among each other under the cover of the pickaxes. So, yeah, now it is turned over to you.
How long have we stayed here?
It's been about 5 days now.
5 days, okay. Sorry, Hambone, would you like to say something?
The walls, they're made of stone.
For
what are the bars?
I was going to say, for the most part, everything down here is carved out of stone, though you will occasionally find wood, whether it's wood doors or like woodwork used to patch things, like the wall Miffy broke through. And there are sometimes roots that you'll pass by in passages as well, like thick roots from the redwoods. The bars themselves, I imagine, as being metal. Again, though, you guys do have the keys at least to your own cells, and probably the cells in this block.
During these 5 days, I would love to see who are the buffest denizens in here, and also ones who seem the unhappiest ones, the buffest ones, the ones who look desperate. I want to be scoping them out and maybe talking to them during these 5 days.
Okay, I was very afraid you're gonna be like, I'm gonna find the buffest, meanest prisoners and walk up to them and punch them.
Riot! That's not how you start a riot.
I mean, if we start a riot, we don't want them fighting with each other. We want them fighting against the guards.
Oh, that's not... Yeah, I wasn't going to start a riot.
Yeah.
I'm just scoping them out for now,
Okay. How do we relay information to each other? Is it just, through the bars? Or is it possible to, talk through the walls in certain circumstances?
Yeah, the walls here... this isn't a state-of-the-art prison. There's some cracks and things where you can, whisper through, especially when the guards are, talking and eating, right? When it's in the middle of the night, even whispering might be a little dangerous. But, when they're eating and chatting. So far, there's been no major incidents. And whether it's overconfidence on the part of the guards, or just comfort and security, or just how things have been going through so far, they don't seem to be... they're not particularly aggressive, right? They'll push you around if you get out of line, but for the most part, as long as you're going and you're doing the mining when they tell you to, they're letting you eat it on your own time, and then they're, letting you out of the cells in a generally like, all right, get out, let's go to work kind of manner. To answer Miffy's questions about Buffist, that would probably be the group of denizens which is most taken to mining. There's a group of mice here who seem to be quite at home in the mines and with pickaxes. Unfortunately, that does mean that while they're the buffest, they're often the most exhausted as they're worked the longest each day. But to your other question about who's particularly unhappy, I think basically all of the prisoners are particularly unhappy. From what you guys have seen, pretty much everyone in this area was brought here around the same time you were, perhaps with one or two exceptions that we'll get into if they become relevant. But for the most part, everyone has been brought here at around the same time as you. A lot of them are confused or upset that they've been brought here. Some of them, the miners perhaps, are a little bit more able to throw themselves into familiar work to keep themselves a bit more level-headed. But no one's happy to be here right now. It might surprise you.
I know, that's why I said unhappiest.
Yeah. I mean, unhappiest. In terms of most vocally unhappy, is probably one of the rare, or the singular rare bird prisoner here. There seems to be an Eyrie noble who's been thrown in here with you, who cannot stop complaining, especially when he's made to do manual labor.
Are they kind of foppish, or?
Yeah, very like, very like proper sort of, I'm of higher status kind of. I shouldn't be relegated to this. Put me in the fancy prison, like that kind of stuff.
They're an Ojisama, okay.
But you guys don't have to stay in your cells. Well, your characters aren't allowed free roam. But I'm saying we can move to a point where your characters are in different areas if you have things you want to do. Like, we can time skip 3 hours ahead to when you're in the mines, or time skip to lunch break or whatever to when you're in the mess hall. You don't have to go minute by minute as if you're currently locked up. But yeah,
I want to talk to the innkeeper because we were arrested at their place. Are they like playing the part of innkeeper for the prison as well?
Mm-hmm. They're often assigned like, the cooking duty.
Mm-hmm. I was like, does this innkeeper have a name?
Yes, this innkeeper does. All right, here, if there's no other questions people have first, I'll slide us all over.
Yeah, I'll wait till after.
Right.
I have one question. You said like some of the prisoners aren't really put on duty because they're just like too weak, or they're probably like just unable to do the work. Are they the ones down in this area? How do I do?
I think it's click and hold, unless only I can do it.
No, I can do it too. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, like they try to get everyone to mine, but not everyone actually can. So they generally are stored in this like larger stuff. They do get to leave to go eat and stuff like that. It does seem to be that this is the pool of people who's been disappearing first, the ones who are unable to be in the mines. Yeah. All right. Brace yourselves. Whee!
Whoa!
Whee! All right. So here in the mess hall, you're able to find the innkeeper, whose name I will change on her character sheet, on her token, now that we've expressed interest in the character. I will now add a name, because if I had a name to begin with, people might be more interested than if I didn't.
Name is character.
So her name is Vera. So, did you have something in particular you wanted to say or talk about?
It's a damn shame they put you in here, Vera. Doesn't seem right just housing the good folk, and they put you in a cage.
She shakes her head and under her breath says, and all because I housed some of the Marquis when they were in control. What, was I gonna not take their money?
Exactly, you're a businesswoman. And so you know when someone gives you goods and services, you pay them in kind.
I don't know why the delivery of that just made me laugh so much.
Vera, I noticed some of the fellow workers here, the mice who do the mines, they're mighty strong, but they're plumb tired. After a long day's work, they could probably use a few extra rations if you had them about. If there's anything you can do about that, well, you do me a favor, I do you a favor. Yeah?
Alright, I like it. Let me... So I think this is a good opportunity to make perhaps our first roll. This is persuading an NPC, not necessarily because it's not necessarily because she doesn't want to do this, right? But perhaps there's more to this proposal than meets the situation. So, Miffy, you should just be able to click on the dice for persuade an NPC, and we can go.
Is that in... Where is that? Is
under
that
your
moves?
basic? Yes, under your basic.
Oh,
moves.
I see it. Yes. Do I have any charm? I have +1. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did I do it?
No, I think you click the text.
Yeah. Oh.
Right. Mm-hmm. All right, on a 7 to 9, they're not sure. So, Miffy, you say this, and the two of you have been talking kind of quietly in the corner while these mercenaries have all been chatting up. She leans in close to you and eyes the mercenaries, especially the one otter amongst the group. The otter who does the least talking amongst all of these birds, singing and chittering. If I could just give all of you more, I would. But they've got a tight enough leash on me as it is. If I'm being entirely honest, I think they got it out for me in particular. Want to send a message with me or something to not aid the enemy and all that. If you were able to make it a little bit more plausible that some of the stores had gone missing or were inoperable or unusable, I could make sure they were distributed to the right people.
Smart! That's why I like you, Vera. Always planning, no wonder they're so afraid of you, but they shouldn't, because you and me, we're friends.
Oh God.
We can be really good friends. And then I lean over and whisper a little more quietly. I know we got one otter here, but between you and me, birds have hollow bones. Very breakable. Very brittle.
Oh my God.
I think she gives you a slightly concerned look. And I says,
Don't give me that look.
I'll have to leave that
What
to
are
your
they gonna-
expertise.
What are they gonna do? Lock you up?
Well, they certainly could expedite the trial, if you catch my meaning.
Don't worry. I'll make sure those stores are unusable.
Alright, you guys have found at least one potential task. Ember, if I remember correctly, you had a question. Are you muted? Or with a mouthful of snack? Or with a broken microphone?
Ember?
Oh no.
Oh.
Oh no. Fill for time. Everyone.
The popcorn. Can I do an action?
Yeah, sure. We're not in any particular turn-based thing or anything, so
I would like to the read a 10 situation.
Oh, let me see. So what does that one say?
Roll with cunning.
Here, before you roll, what is it that you're trying to do?
Of the people in this room right now, who would get us out of here in a non-violent way?
Okay, so you're trying to see. All right, yeah, I think that makes sense for a roll.
Okay.
Yeah, you can roll that read a 10 situation.
Okay, here we go. Whee! What I get?
All right,
Okay.
you've got a 9. You get to ask one who would lead you, or who would get you out of here in a non-violent way.
Like, just get us out of here. Like, if not the fastest way, then a way that's like people aren't going to come after us while we're leaving. Maybe not in the long term they could come back after us, but just like right now, how can we get out of there?
So if you're looking for in this room in a non-violent way, now a couple things come to mind. Like you're scanning, right? You see this cluster of mercenaries eating and keeping watch over everyone. It's pretty clear that amongst them the otter has special sway, and certainly could, if her word was given, probably do something about your circumstances. But is she likely to? That's pretty... We'll say that's unlikely. But proceeding as your gaze continues to sweep, a lot of the denizens don't seem to be of the violent type. Vera, this group that's all around this table, a lot of them seem to be civilians, but are they able to help you? So the non-violent part they're there for. The escape part is the question. But then your eyes fall on this bird. Why is there this pompous bird here who seems to know from the discussion that he's having with the mouse across from him so much about the local geography? Now there's someone who might know a little bit about, non-violent maneuvering, right? Yeah. Or at the very least, have some directions. And as that answer soaks in, I'll ask Masha, are you there? Ember, can you hear us?
Oh, so can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh my gosh. I have my microphone all nice and set up, and then the receiver died.
No.
So I'm on my phone. If it sounds different, I apologize.
Oh no.
You're still audible, so it's
You're
good.
still audible, as long as we can hear you. Alright. So, while Milo thinks on that answer, you had a question earlier that we skipped over while you were, well, first for Miffy and then for your technical issues. What was your question, if you can recall it?
Yes. Ember wants to try and figure out some of the regular mercenaries, the birds that are quote-unquote watching them. Mm-hmm. She's very talkative, and she would like to know what their opinions are, what they're doing. Like, are you just doing this for a job? You know, you helped me out with my tail. I appreciate that. And there's just a lot going on. And why do we have so many people here anyway? You know.
Information, yeah.
Yeah, trying to be friendly with them and see what you could learn. So are you basically trying to get an idea of you said of their like dispositions, right? Like why their motives, right? Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So I think, let me see. I think for this one, it's figure someone out is the role.
Okay.
So let's give this one. Yeah, there should be a strong hit.
wow.
All right. So that's the real good stuff.
Let's go.
So you basically get to ask 3 of these lists of questions. One of them can be about, you know, what you were saying, right? So it's going to be about like what are they really doing this for? And then you'll get 2 more as well from this role.
Sweet.
From your discussions going around and like talking to them over the course of the day, most of the ones, the yellow tokens, these canaries, they seem to be mostly in it for the paycheck, which comes across in their relatively relaxed demeanor, except when one of their officers are around. They have the otter, as well as one of the canaries is also an officer. The 2 of them seem to inspire an extra bit of, should I say professionalism? I don't know if that's quite right. Let's say, yeah, a little bit of extra bit of making sure they're doing their jobs exactly right, that the manacles are, you know, perfectly snug when the bosses are in the room. But for the most part, they're happy to collect their paychecks. What you've noticed as you've gone around as well is that there is a single detachment, or not even a detachment, a single squad of not mercenaries, but Eyrie guards themselves, who take their jobs a lot more seriously, and who are keeping eye on the sole cat prisoner. Though one of the canaries does seem to be close to the cat, or at least working with the cat on something. But the Eyrie guard's a lot more strict, and the 2 bosses of the canaries, especially the Carlo down here, he takes the job very seriously. Whereas the otter is, you don't get the sense that she's taking it seriously, but that she's a lot more relaxed, perhaps either due to experience or confidence.
All right.
Is there what other 2 things do you want to know about these guard groups as a whole? And if you can't think of anything right now, then we can hold on to it for later.
As a whole?
I guess if you have a specific one you want to drill into, I'm fine with that.
I want to know some more about Captain Noemi Aluvi.
Got something specific you want to know?
I mean, we just got our disposition, so I guess... Is it confidence? Is it Maybelline?
Try to read through the disposition.
I mean,
Sure.
What about like a pain point? Like, is there something? I don't know. She's all business, but is there something that could distract her? Like, does she just like hate tidiness? Is she? I don't know.
She's really
chill.
chill.
Just chill.
Really solid.
Nothing that grinds her gears. Like a bad sound.
I think.
I feel like some fox.
Oh yes.
I said hi,
Hello. Welcome. Yeah,
Whoa.
Ember. As you spend some time watching the captain, do you make small talk, or at least attempt to, or do you spend more time observing the interactions?
I think more small talk.
Mm-hmm. So you find that she, much like most of the other canaries that you talk to, are willing to at least engage in, as long as you're doing what you're told, in some conversation. And across, brief exchanges, nothing too much, you get the sense that this relaxed exterior is very much part of the job for her, right? This is her idea of what it means to be a professional in these moments. It's hard to say exactly what Ember picks up on. Maybe it's a little bit of the fact that Ember too puts on facades quite a bit, but maybe it's in the corner of the eyes, maybe it's in the occasional scoff. She's very much not a relaxed, polite person, but professionalism demands it. And so, can't be unprofessional while on the job, certainly.
True.
I think the sense that you get is that behind the professionalism, there's a danger there, not necessarily like a I'm a dangerous person like Miffy kind of danger, right? Like not like that, but like,
what are you saying about me?
But like this person could become cruel and hostile very easily if the situation demands it.
Saying that Miffy's a good friend to have in a bad situation.
That's right. A good friend to have. A worse enemy.
All right.
What
No.
If you have a third thing, feel free. If not, we can see if Milo has any follow-ups for their role earlier, or if Miffy has it.
Good.
No, yeah.
I'm gonna hold for now.
All right, hold for now. Milo, did you have something you were about to say?
I would like to approach the Eyrie noble and try to persuade them.
Persuade them to what? What is it you're saying? What are you...
I just want them to... What would be like the way to get them to like me and like think of me as a friend?
All right, let me take a look real quick. Let's see. I think rather than... I'm looking to see if any of your things apply. I think rather than persuading them, because I think in this, persuading is a very much like you're asking for something actionable, right? It's probably more figuring someone out, trying to figure out what, like, for example, one of the questions it gives you under figuring someone out is, how could I get your character to blank, right? So if you succeed, you'd be like, how can I get this bird to like me, right? And that's like, okay, how can I ingratiate myself to this person? So that's, I think that's the one to roll in this moment.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Okay.
All right. You hold one, which means that you get to ask the one question, which in your case, I believe is, right? Like you
get them to like get in their good graces.
I think this is one where you listen to a little bit of this conversation and the way that he's interacting with the mouse across from him, and it's actually probably extremely easy to get into this person's good graces. All you need to do is let him yap at you and be like, yes, that makes a lot of sense. Oh, like, of course, why didn't I think of that? Right? Like, sort of like play to the ego. You think that if you were to go in here and play the part of like eager student, you would certainly earn his affection. Now, to be viewed as like a friend rather than like a favored subject, that's probably a little bit harder without convincing him that you yourself have a pedigree of some kind, because he does seem to put a lot of stock in those. He's talking a lot about historical figures and events, but yeah, so that's probably, those are probably the two components, right? To get him to be friendly, just listen to what he has to say and ask follow-up questions. To get him to be friends, gotta convince him you're someone important.
Okay. All right. I'm starting to see a path here. Okay. So, if no one else wants to make a move, I kind of want to like talk to the guy.
Go for it.
All right.
Do it.
All right. I kind of like cricket walk up to the noble. It's like, now, excuse me there, sire. Couldn't help but notice your just wonderful plumage. You know, I've been all around these woods, and I gotta say, I've never seen such beautiful rock of feathers upon someone in all my life.
As you walk up and give that compliment, you can see he almost like fluffs up. He's got those, he's a goldfinch, right? So he's got black cap, golden wings, bright, or not black cap, black wings, golden body with like little stripes on the wings, but very vibrant. And he, like, good of you to notice. Glad to see I haven't completely lost my luster in this dingy place. And I forget, did you ask something specific or did you give that greeting?
I just wanted to give the greeting. Now I gotta, you just stand out amongst everyone else, all these other common folk you see here. Nothing wrong with that, but just gotta ask yourself, what's a nugget of gold doing here in this pile of dirt?
A question I ask myself every morning, every mealtime, and every time I raise that horrendous pick. What is the Gilded Lord of Ironroot doing in these dingy mines? And
Is
one
he
of
like
the,
calling across the
yeah, it's just
across
like,
the room?
like to that one of the canaries laughs. It just says, "Former Lord of Ironroot." And
Wait,
the other
is this
one,
Edmund Keane? Are you
Am I
channeling
Edmund
Edmund Keane?
not intentionally.
I'm thinking of like Kenneth Heights from Elden Ring.
Oh,
like my view of it.
But yes, he's like, it seems, my dear Songbug, that I've been sentenced to this terrible place, all because they think it's my fault that it fell to the Marquis to begin with. Preposterous.
What's the retainer doing during all this?
The mouse is watching you rather closely, but otherwise not they're not saying anything. They were like going back and forth with the noble, but were clearly, you know, like they were speaking a lot less, right? So having you come in and join the conversation, they've politely gone quiet to allow the noble to still have as much breathing room as he needs, right? But otherwise, just watching you closely.
Okay. So I kind of give a little curtsy and a bow, and I say, "Well, your lordship, I happen to be a songbug, as you can tell from my vestments. Go by Milo, just Milo's fine. You know, it's hard to get inspired here in these mines. A lot of pain, a lot of sweat, a lot of tears. And you know, that's fine for some songs, but I just want to be inspired for like an illustrious sort of some figure to shine among these dark, damn caves. And I don't know, I just take a look at you and I can feel a muse just lingering in the back maybe I can bring him out a little more if I learn more about you.
Like, you can see that flattery gets you pretty much everywhere with this guy, like, immediately, right? So it's like... And, like,
I
you
don't do that. I don't do that. I don't say that to him. I don't laugh. I don't laugh sinisterly to him.
Right. And so, like, the way this works, just to, like, mechanic for a second, is like you rolled figure someone out, found out what you needed to do, and did it. So there's no extra roll to, like, now do the thing, right? Generally, try to roll once for a scenario when it makes sense. So by flattering him, I was like, well, Milo, I am honored, but perhaps if your muse is what is lacking, you could join the discussion that Arrow and myself here were having about, if I were to say, perhaps the most inspiring figure this corner of the woodland.
I couldn't possibly. I couldn't possibly sit down with you, sir. But if you would have me in your graces to just spend a little time, perhaps break a little bread or something,
Well, certainly. There's room on Arrow's side of the table.
Make a little love.
No, maybe not. Well.
Get down on that.
Well, actually, well, I don't want to impose. I do happen to be with some of my comrades. Over here, you can see these two fine peasantry, such as myself. And I gestured to Amber and Miffy.
Mm-hmm.
What did you just call me?
Well,
Fine.
Well, Miffy, just simmer down right now. Well, I actually do want to talk to you, Miffy. Miffy, no, I don't know. What was the guy's name again?
Oh, I don't think he actually said his name. He said his title. He said his title was the Gilded Lord of Ironroot, right?
Okay,
But
well, my lordship, you need to be in company of some great people, great creatures of the forest, and well, I don't want to impose, but you might be in company of another great creature yourself. And I kind of like pointed antenna in Miffy's direction.
Wait, what?
Miffy's a great creature.
Like, there's people of high standing here, at least 2 of them, and I think we want to make connections. And I kind of turn back a little bit to the guards and give them a quick, just little once over, and turn back's like, get you back into your seat. I think you're need a strong cabinet to catch my drift.
Looks over the group. Like Milo, it's like, all right, a musician, a minstrel, makes sense. There's a role for those in the courts, respectable. Ember, would you or Amasha, would you say that Ember's dressed generally well?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing incredibly flashy, but it is nicer than the typical clothes.
Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, that seems like it could be someone of at least some standing. And then Nova, Miffy, how hidden is Miffy's aura of murderous intent? Just as a general sense.
Well, if you were going to ask about my clothes, I was going to say that my shirt's actually pretty immaculate. The white shirt that I have on, underneath it, it's absolutely terrible and gory. As for my disposition, it cannot be contained. It is... I don't know what to tell you. Look at my face. It cannot be changed.
I think the look, the Gilded Lord looks over the 3 of you, and there's like a look and then a shudder, just like, I suppose desperate times and all. Lowers his voice a little bit, the mercenaries are talking, the denizens around the bottom table are talking. In case it's not clear, some of these tokens have group or squad in parentheses because I didn't want to I didn't want to just drag a bunch of them and have to manage them if things moved around. So, like,
I need to.
There's conversation happening.
Just because I'm so curious. Oh, hold on. Can I not do this? Hold on. How do I? Oh, it's hold. I forgot. Wait. Is this a latrine?
Oh, all the way back there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Probably something you like enter
curious.
from the hall, you know.
Gotcha. Okay.
But like, well, if you all wish to hear the story, then I can tell the story to the lot of you. Though I admit it would be nice to see the stars again, he says wistfully. Now, someone such as I have to follow the proper channels. I'm not a rough and tumble sort like... Looks at Miffy, doesn't say Miffy, and then looks to his retainer, like Arrow here.
I'm just picturing Mousely. That's the retainer.
Picturing who?
Mousely.
Mousely? No, I'm not.
It was back when the Resident Evil 4 remake was coming out, and someone said I had a dream that Ashley from it was just a little mouse. But, like...
Oh. I see.
Okay. I don't say this to the noble. This is out of character. So, you don't have to rush any decisions. Of course, we can always work within the margins. But just keep in touch, especially since well, when I'm around you, I can feel that muse just coming back to me.
Well, very well. If you have not the time now, perhaps another. But, well, in times such as these, people such as I often need those of your skill set. Yours particularly to repair my reputation, but perhaps your companions too for other needs.
Damn. Well, you might have found me, your lordship. Now, that line you said about being able to see the stars again, I think I can work with that.
Oh.
Keep your stick on the ass, you hear? And start heading back to another table.
All right. Party, anything else you want to do here in the mess hall? Miffy, got any sabotage you wanted to try to do now, or do you want to keep continuing your...
Yes.
I'll bring my tambourine.
Well, hold on. I like huddle up to the group. I've been talking to some of the people in the mess hall here, and Vera could be a valuable ally. I've already talked to her that some of the workers here could probably use a little boost in their step, if you know what I mean. They need some more food so they're not as exhausted when they're done working in the mines. They've got muscles in those little mouse bodies of theirs. I know, I have them too. So here's the plan, for me at least. Once I convince the rest of these folks that they shouldn't just lie down and have them slowly brought to their death, we can join as allies and they can help us beat the crap out of these birds. But first, the food. I was thinking, see, the back room, one of them could probably go spoiled, and then Vera here can help give those extra servings to the workers. But we gotta make it look like something bad happened to it, see? I was thinking perhaps a leak in the roof or something, some water damage, to gets one of those crates of food, and instead we put mush from the mines as a rotten food in its place, and we use that extra bread for the workers. What do you think?
Hold on, I need to take that all in for a second.
I feel like I'm going Joker here for a bit.
I didn't want to say anything.
I'm like going Joker over here.
A mistake repeated multiple times is a decision.
Yeah, I could feel Miffy drifting from the unnamed copyright mouse, but I didn't realize Joker until you said it, and that's exactly where it was.
I'll work on it.
Just do it right by Miffy is all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm. Wherever that goes.
Yeah. I kind of look over, kind of like put my hands in my little feelers, and I go, now Miffy,
Yes, Milo?
I appreciate your altruism for the folks around here, but I don't think we should go rush into break-in and sabotage. Could be a harsh little thing. I think we should maybe see what we can do. I mean, we know about the mess hall, but what about around here? The guards back in the cells, the ones out in the mines. We need to just see what we can figure out before we do anything rash.
Oh, they're just in it for the money. I talked to him.
Money, you say?
Yep.
I'll wait for you, Milo, but just so you know, I think they're gonna kill us soon, so can't wait too long.
Fair enough. Now,
I like how
talking
Miffy
about-
jumps straight to death.
That's what I would do.
No, you didn't hear this from me, but where are we at right now in regards to the noble?
Like, you guys could have gone over to another table and had, like, the denizen chatter and the mercenary chatter to be, like, a little bit further if you want to talk about the noble without being overheard.
Okay. And we got ourselves what we call a political prisoner around here, as far as I know. Now, I don't know how much he's got on him, but if he was seized, there might be a chance his goods are somewhere within this premises. And if he just so happens to have a large enough purse, maybe we can find a way to persuade some of these guards, if you catch my drift.
So you're saying... Sorry, go on.
I think that would be a good idea. Just don't bring it up to the captains. The rest of them they look kind of constipated when the others come around, you know, when you get that kind of
Yeah, they're kind of deterred from leaning and more inspired to cleaning, I believe.
Mhm.
Let's just...
So you're saying that we should look for this purse that might exist and pay them off to let all three of us go?
Just saying, keep an open mind.
Well, do you need me to look for something?
If we're gonna be scouting around here, just keep your eyes open, your ears also open.
Okay, everything open, all my orifices. I got it.
Alright, you didn't say that. Alright.
And if you happen to find out where all of the pipes are for possible leakages, you know.
Oh, yes, Ember. Yes, Ember. Well, just I'll keep an eye, an ear, and mouth, and something else open for any like coinage that you might that you're theorizing about. But I'll just let you know right now. I know already where the weapons are. So if your plan doesn't work, let's not forget mine.
Milo grimaces and says, duly noted.
Wonderful. All right.
Yeah, Miffy, just so you know, both as Miffy and as Nova playing Miffy, violence in this system, you guys are relatively powerful, but much like Dungeons and Dragons or really a lot of systems, numbers mean a lot. So if you guys
Well,
end
that's
up...
why I want the workers.
Right. It's true. So I'm just saying, even if it comes to weapons, if you're outnumbered, be at least a little afraid.
Well, now I didn't say we had to fight. I'm just saying the workers.
Sacrifice the miners so you can...
We could escape in the confusion if we're not in on fighting.
Truly a proletariat.
All I can see is that angel comic where it's like, be not afraid, but it's a monster fucker, and they're like, be more afraid.
I'm gonna stay afraid.
So we all got backup plans. This is good. This is why we're a good team.
Yeah, teamwork.
Teamwork.
Well, let's keep that dream alive, shall we?
All right, Milo.
Where are we off to next?
I guess we're gonna go to the...
I've still got one more question. Any suggestions?
Suggestions for what?
I have one more question to ask about the guards.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Maybe it could be something practical like rotations or
where they patrol certain areas, like what times.
Yeah, or like how many people man each thing, like for the inn versus the cell.
They ignore when possible.
Yeah, like any blind spots, perhaps.
Let's see.
I think that's a good idea, and it could be like, I just want to nap and not have people looking at me,
Rather than a specific blind spot, I think something in the same vein of that information is that...
Like the mines.
That's good. Mentioned in the narration and earlier was the fact that like these three areas that we have here, these three areas that you venture to, are connected by a network of passages and like mine tunnels. Like this is a very much a sprawling place, full of dead ends and things like that. Ember, from your watching these guards and the way they've moved about it, they tend to stick to pretty predefined paths. And you get the sense that these mercenaries, these canaries, probably aren't super familiar with the tunnels beyond the paths they do patrol. Now, granted, neither are you, right? But it's like if you were to get off the beaten path and hide, then they could certainly still try to find you. But it's not like they know the best hiding spots or anything like that, right? Like they've been brought in here potentially just to help contain you guys at the moment, rather than actually because they're experienced. Now, again, the same caveat applies that this one squad of Eyrie guards does seem to be the exception, though you haven't seen them patrolling as much, but from the way they act, you wouldn't be surprised if they have a bit more knowledge. Which could be dangerous, because if the canaries are looking for you and they have these guards to instruct them, that could be a problem, right? But that's something that's something you don't know simply because you don't see them patrolling. They're more guard duty than anything else.
Yeah. Wait, I had another idea also. Sorry, after we're done with this, I had another idea.
Okay.
I think I was about done, but unless Ember had follow-up questions.
I mean, that's basically what I was asking. Like, what are the patterns? They have very predetermined patterns, and they don't know much else outside of them. At least that's how it seems. And we don't know much either, but that's, sometimes running in the dark from someone else in the dark works.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
alternative plan. Still working with the spoiled food. Instead of fake spoiled food, how about real spoiled food? You see,
What good does that do?
we poison. Just give it a stomach ache, not kill him. Not kill him. Unless. No. We poison some of the food. Not all of it, right? We feed it to some of the mercenaries, the captain perhaps. We show like this batch of food, it was spoiled, so we're not going to use it. But it's actually not all spoiled, and we give the rest to the workers. And whether or not that's to fight, which still on the table, guys, but if not, well, they could also carve out a new part of the mine that perhaps the guards don't know about thanks to Ember's information.
Wouldn't they just blame Vera for the food issue? I feel like that gets rid of an ally that we need.
Well, the way that she helps us is poisoning them.
Right. Ember's saying, wouldn't they just blame her for that and punish
And
her?
I'm saying she would have done her part.
If we still need them to look at the rations and say, "Oh, my bad. It was not poison. It was all bad." I feel like that goes beyond blaming her. You know?
Miffy's like, every single person in here but us is disposable.
How about this? I pee in it.
All right, so Milo is he's got one of his he's got his head and his feelers, and he's like pushing around the gruel in his bowl, like, all right, never seeing the sun, am I? Again.
Listen, no idea is a bad idea. We're just spitballing.
Alright, well, suppose, brainstorming and all that.
Listen, I wasn't the ideas guys in my old faction. I was the,
Do you want to keep it that way?
I'm just saying.
I like the first idea where the food is pretend bad, because then we can actually use it,
Yes, but if it's also poisoned, then less mercenaries. You know what I'm saying?
If you can get it to them.
Well, I'll look for the mine bush.
Mine mush it is.
Wait, there are mushrooms here?
Was that what you meant by mine mush?
No, I meant like dirt.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was also under the impression you meant like dirt.
She's looking for cave slime.
Yeah. I figured, debris, dust.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe there are mine mushrooms. This is a Mordio campaign. There's always mushrooms.
There's always
mushrooms. Mushrooms with this guy.
What if we just get them high, so they don't do their duties and they'll just be lazy and won't mind when we walk out?
Wait, you're saying that in Milo's voice? Is that a legitimate?
No, it's not.
We find
change your colors.
We find the secret high hallucinogenic mushroom in the mines, and we give it to the mercenaries.
The hallucinogenic mushroom I've specifically placed. You just gotta find the right square on this map.
We find mushrooms that make us grow real big, and then we just jump on all the Koopas.
I mean, if you happen to find mushrooms while you're mining...
I mean, otherwise I'm just looking for dirt.
Alright, well...
What I hear is we're about to go do a shift in the mines.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright. Whee!
We take a minecart down. It's like, oh, it's so fun! Whee!
Donkey Kong style.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if they, if the minecarts are intended for, I was about to say human, but that's not the right word, for people to...
Yeah.
to go to
Creatures.
ride, for creatures to ride. And speaking for things that are not intended for creatures, as you arrive for a shift at the mines, you see the cat here is working on this big wooden contraption, and as you enter, the cat very suddenly grabs this canary and pulls him out of the way as the contraption like lurches forward and then smashes through a rock and then sputters and smoke comes out of it. And then the cat begins to lecture the canary before turning his attention back to the contraption.
Oh, so you're saying this is a big boy?
Yes, there's a big woodwork contraption that's here that doesn't appear to be fully functional.
Can we like glean what the purpose of it might be, or is it just beyond our reckoning?
I think from context clues, you guys can put it together. Seeing it just like smash through something, the overall structure, the partially collapsed tunnel that it's next to, it looks like, and like you've all heard of the Marquisites clockwork contraptions. Some of you may have seen more of them than others. That's sort of up to you guys how much you've been in Marquis territory. But this looks like a clockwork tunneler of some kind, something that's meant to like dig and excavate and such. And it appears that this cat is being tasked with repairing it. But as you just saw, repairs are not going great. Chaotic movements, short bursts, difficult aim.
So they're trying to replace us, is it?
Soon you guys will be out of a job. Won't be able to collect your 3 bowls of
prison
gruel.
labor taken from us.
We'll just sit around all day. That's so boring.
We'll just go straight to killing us.
Oh, okay, maybe that's not so good.
I mean, technically speaking, you guys don't even really know what you're charged with, if anything, at this moment. You don't... Like, a lot of the people who were taken here were also at the inn or the surrounding areas. Like, you don't even know if they have anything specific against you or if you just got caught up in it, you know?
Okay.
For all you know, if you wait 2 more weeks, they'll let you go. Or not.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, or not. Could be down these mines forever.
Forever. Okay. Can I? So would the Eyrie guards would they be like the the overseers basically of this particular section?
Yes, very much so. They keep themselves a little bit apart from the prisoners, except for to give commands. There's just a small number of them, like 4 of them or so, but they give commands to the prisoners, they give commands to the mercenaries, and at least 2 of them at a given time are keeping an eye on the cat.
Alright, so I would like to approach one and let's see, what is it? And figure out someone.
Oh, like
or
see
actually,
what...
you know what? No. I want to read a situation.
Let me see. So you're trying...
I know what... actually, I'm trying to... Okay, I'm going to ask the question, then we can figure out what I should do.
Yeah, sounds good. That sounds good. Yeah, what
I basically want to... I just want to, like, ask one of them, what's the charge? Like, why are we here?
Why are you specifically here?
Or, like, why are we here?
Right. I think for that one, you probably do you need a roll for that one? Let me think.
If I want, like, the truth, probably.
Let's see, when you want to...
Know the truth?
I was gonna say, I think the main thing here would be like if they were inclined not to answer you. Here's what I think I'm gonna do. Rather than roll a specific move, I just want you to roll charm here. If you roll a hit at all, or like a 7 or higher, we'll call that them giving you an answer, right? And if you roll a 6 or lower, perhaps they will not be in a good mood when you approached, right?
What? I'm gonna turn on the charm. Not everyone loves Milo.
9.
Somewhat like.
Yeah.
So
I'm a Dark Horse favorite.
you ask, and perhaps one of these guards heard your performance yesterday and was at least a little bit, approved of it at least a little bit as a means to relax after a relatively strenuous workday of actually paying attention and doing their jobs and caring about it, unlike 80% of the birds here. So when you approach, there is like a little bit of tension, just a little bit, as all 4 of the guard like clock someone getting closer to them. They don't draw their weapons or anything, right? Like they're not that like twitchy, but they are curious what a prisoner is doing getting closer to them until you've asked your question. The other 3 relax as one answers.
Now hold your horses there, boys.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to start no trouble. Just, hear your, say you've been coming around to my performances, and, I just so happened to working on a new ditty. Fortunately, it's about our current circumstances. I just, stuck on a part, because, well, believe it or not, I'm not quite sure why we're all here. And, you can enlighten me on that, much appreciated.
One of the guards, whether they're taking pity on you or just, actually just like, all right, this isn't a big deal to say, it's unclear. This is with control recently retaken from the Marquis. We need to ensure that there are no agents remaining in Ironroot. Everyone brought here has potential ties to the Marquis, and you will be evaluated one by one until we are satisfied. Those of you who have no connection to the Marquis and are loyal to the Eyrie have nothing to worry about and will be released when your turn is up.
Well, thanks for clearing that up. I'm gonna go back to, pounding the old dirt, if you know what I mean.
Miffy, just... Alright. Yeah, so you've learned a little bit of info. And actually, I think this is a great time. So as you've learned now why you're actually here, I have a question for each of you. We'll start with Milo, since Milo, you were the one who just asked this. Imagine, if you will, roughly 5 nights ago, around 3 to 4 a.m., Milo being awoken suddenly, quickly bound, and then being taken to a prison. And one of the guards asking, something along the lines of, do you have any idea why we're taking you in? And my question is twofold. Half to the player, and half to the character. Would you, the player, be able to think of any reasons why the Eyrie might want to arrest you? And then, would your character be able to think of those same reasons, and would they actually answer with them? Or, otherwise deny, say something else, etc.
Okay. Do we answer right now?
Yeah, I think so. Milo, starting with you. Like, what's Milo's, like, overall level of disheveledness being awoken in the middle of the night? What crimes might, or, like, what answers
I think I'm just, I may be a song bug, but I think the Eyrie think me more of a louse, and that I'm just kind of annoying to them. But I don't think it'd be enough to, like, be forced to work and, like, continuously be in prison. It's usually like a night or two before I'm let out. In most cases.
Right. You might get brought in for being a public nuisance or something of the sort, and then let go. Maybe a small fine or a
Just
get out of town. Yeah, or get out of town. You're not allowed back in for the rest of the festival, right?
They throw rocks at me.
And that makes sense.
But, I think that's probably the same for all of us. I can't think of anything else any of us would have done that would or any sort of behavior pattern that would get them in trouble.
Me neither.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like this is specifically leaning towards one person, Miffy. Have you committed any specific crimes?
I didn't say anything about Miffy. Miffy's home egg, home skillet,
What was Miffy's attitude at around 3 to 4 a.m. being arrested and being asked if she knew why she was being arrested?
Well, as soon as they lay their hands on me, I'm pulling out my knife, that I keep under my pillow.
Right. So,
and I do not go quietly into the night.
Yeah, so it's like, why are you being arrested? For resisting arrest. That's why.
Probably at that point. And it's like, do you know why you're being arrested? And I could probably think of a lot of reasons they might want to arrest me. It's like, what did you hear? Whatever they said, it didn't happen. I don't know what you're talking about. They're all liars. What are you doing to me? Let me go. Oh.
Yeah, that sounds about right. What about Ember over there? What's Ember's disposition being arrested in the middle of the night? Has Ember done anything to warrant it?
Yes, but she's not going to admit it. She is going to wake up crying and scratching and wailing and just being like, what are you? And trying to make as much noise as possible.
The whole neighborhood is witnessing this, which unfortunately in this case, half the neighborhood's getting arrested with you, so makes it a bit more of a difficult weapon to wield.
Softens the blow.
Yeah. I am curious if you, the player, do have some ideas of what they are and are willing to share. What sort of things Ember might have gotten up to that aren't being admitted to. But if you don't want to or don't know them off the top of your head, that's also fine.
One moment. I had a thing, and it's like on the tip of my tongue. No, come back.
Oh no.
Catch it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, catch it. Can I? Stop that thought.
Probably trying to snitch some or swipe a few things from a vendor, or just generally picking up things that don't belong to her and not putting them back.
So like petty theft, that kind of stuff?
Petty theft, and possibly being buddy with a cat or two.
Ooh.
But not not in the, we're best friends, but just like talking to them.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like, we're in a town. We're on our way. There's things happening. I will talk to people when they happen. Some of them are cat. Which doesn't look good.
No.
Known cat sympathizer, Ember.
Yep, it's true.
Never said I sympathized. I just talked to him.
Have you ever been known to deal in catnip?
You wouldn't know.
Yep.
You'll never know.
Yeah, and similar to Milo's, like the petty theft, probably worth a brief imprisonment, fine, maybe taking some stuff, unless there was a huge pattern in that town.
I don't take anything.
No, sorry, I meant like in terms of like the prison experience, right? It would be a short stint.
I'm just saying, I don't steal anything. Listen,
Yeah.
if they give it to me of their own volition, that's not theft.
Right.
Even if, maybe sometimes...
It's certainly not coercion.
But yes, prison-wise, it should
Because
not
the
be an extended stay.
Right,
Because
exactly.
the circumstances are, false, doesn't mean what I did was wrong.
Yeah, only Miffy's basically the only one here who has any semblance to be imprisoned this long. But, sounds like they are getting through their cases, so theoretically you guys would be fine, right? But
No.
Obviously.
you never know.
It's like the ending to Far Cry 4. You just wait, and then you get out free. You get the credits.
Yeah, so after you guys, so Milo, you've asked that question. You guys have arrived. There was that little bit of a malfunction, and the cat calls out to the guard that he needs to wait for it to cool down before you can start working on it again. And so the cat and the canary sort of just move off to the side and take a bit of a break.
Is this a river?
There is water flowing through here. Yeah,
Where do we know where it leads?
God,
somewhere
River.
else.
Somewhere else. Okay.
Yeah.
We're underground. Water has a tendency to pool underground. I don't know that it would go out anywhere.
We've just
Oh,
find a
are we
giant-
underground?
You are- yes,
we're
you're
in the
underground.
mines, but I thought that was kind of in the mountains, sort of.
You're in
I
the
mean, that's
mines
not-
in the roots of the trees. So,
Okay.
Yeah, you're underground.
We take the supposed river, it just leads us out to the drain of the earth and sends us into space.
Also, something
go-
of a Mordio campaign. If you take a river underwater, you probably or underground. You're probably going deeper. Just how
just
deep
keep
does it
going
go? It goes
underground.
deeper. It goes deeper. Is always
Turns
the
into a
answer.
Greek mythology campaign, and we end up in Hades.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
There we go.
1 or 2?
We've only
Two.
played one, so that one.
There we go.
They just had an update for 2. I really want to get it.
I did see that, but I want it to wait for the full release. But anyway, back to the game.
Yeah.
All right, so there is undetermined water at some depth below us.
Yeah, the water. It's it's not too far below you, but it is decently deep. Deep enough that the shorter among you probably can't touch the bottom.
Okay.
And it seems like it gets deeper, at least in one direction.
All right,
It's
move
not
around
moving
ever so-
particularly quickly, but it is moving. So the water it's murky from all of the mining, but it is moving. So-
Murky, huh?
Yeah, murky.
Mm,
Might not be safe to drink.
Probably
You could say
not.
that.
Probably not.
Interesting.
I know that, water coming out of rock is usually pretty filtered, but I don't think that applies once it goes into mining facilities and all the dust and silt and things get into it. That sounds like it makes it less healthy again, but
Yeah. How you're not supposed to drink fracking water?
Oh yes. Oh yeah, no one light a match in here. That would be bad.
Oh god.
No, I'm
I also
kidding.
just a couple hours ago, or at least an hour ago, I got the pun of canaries in the mines.
Oh yeah. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Also, just another side note, we'll go from that, but the little mice icons, they look like pieces of bread.
They do look
They
like
do,
pieces
yeah.
of bread. Yeah, all of these
Yeah.
official root meeples. So,
They're very cute.
they are very
Did you
cute.
Did you put the little angry eyebrows on the Eyrie guards?
No,
Or
those
did they
have
come-
that actually.
Okay.
Those just have that.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. And the yellow ones don't have angry eyebrows. In the board games, the yellow ones are cultists. So I think that's why they're not angry. I don't know. But anyway.
You should definitely make them high.
With what?
Turn them into Cult of the Lamb.
Mushrooms.
Yeah, that are clearly here.
I mean, there's some moisture here at least. Anyway, what are you guys actually doing?
I want to look for dirt. Good
Easy.
bread. I want to look for the best dirt that looks like a bad bread. Take some of the murky water and then try to fake contaminate some things. I'm gonna do that plan while we're also doing the other plans, because there's no harm in giving some people some bread. So whatever they do with that's fine. We can still do the other plan, but I think we can still do this one at the same time.
Miffy, to do that, do you think you would need a distraction?
Do I need a distraction to find like wet dirt? Or like to replace it, you mean?
I mean, like, if you want to, like, maybe scout further into the mines where the guards may not be.
I think, like,
if that's part of your plan.
Yeah, if you're just looking for dirt and, like, water, you can fill up, like, your pockets and your flask. Oh, yeah, and something I didn't mention during those flashbacks.
My pockets with water and my flask with dirt.
Yep, that's exactly it. Yeah, and in case it wasn't clear, you all are still in, like, your regular clothes, but had, like, your possessions taken from you. With the exception of Milo's tambourine. Milo, you can tell us how you convinced them to let you keep that, or how you got it back, if you want at some point. But with the exception of that, most of your stuff was taken, but you were left in clothes, because technically speaking, you're not true prisoners yet. They haven't put you on trial or anything, so... You're still just in.
No, we're not convicted, but we are indeed prisoners.
You're right. You're not convicted prisoners.
They're doing prison labor with us.
We need a phoenix fright.
It's true. Yeah. So Miffy, if you just want dirt and water, you can grab that here. A distraction might be useful for actually carrying out this plan later on, or if, as Milo suggested, if you wanted to like swim up or down river to see what was there without being noticed, but. That's tangential to your plan, I think.
Okay.
I want to approach towards the cat and ask if I can help. If I get blocked along the way, I will generously offer, I want to help and see what's going on. I know that I can do something.
Yeah, you can approach the cat. The guards certainly watch you closely as you do. And the cat is being assisted by one of the canaries who is the easiest one to remember their name and match it to their face, because as their name is Kula Two-Tone, they are a canary that is split down the middle, half red, half yellow. So whenever you see this one, you know it's that one. It's immediately apparent. So that name has stuck in everyone's, like, in your mind over these past couple of days. And it seems that they have been assistant to the cat during a lot of your stay here. They've also taken quite an interest into the contraption.
They're a peach ring bird.
A what bird?
A what?
A peach ring.
A peach ring?
Yeah, the candy.
Oh, I don't.
You know what a peach ring is. You just don't know it by name.
Yeah, I just don't know it by name. Yeah.
I could kill for some peach rings right now.
Oh, they're so good.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
With your game.
Yeah, the guards will watch you approach, Ember, but otherwise, like, they're listening, but they're not stopping you. This conversation, unlike the other ones that you've had before, you know that others are listening in on it, so you probably want to keep your words, keep that in mind with whatever you do end up saying. But you try to offer your help.
Yeah, and also just curiosity. She is all open curiosity of, wow, you're really working hard on something. That looks really interesting. What is it? Like, can I help with anything?
Yeah, you approach, and the cat sort of sighs. Unless you are able to source me some quality wood, I don't know that there's much you can help me with.
Oh, he's French.
What?
He's French!
You know what? I didn't get that at all. But what if he keeps talking? Maybe that'll be reinforced.
What do you need wood for?
These clockwork contraptions, they put their materials under a lot of stress. It requires very specific qualities of wood processed in different ways for the gears. Qualities which our generous hosts have not been able to procure and have been asking me to do with less. And like, as if to demonstrate this point, not just to you, but also to the guards, like watching him closely, he does like lean into the still smoking woodwork and like wrench out a wooden gear that has like a big crack and burn through it, and like makes a show of like taking out like this isn't gonna work, right?
Oh, she's making faces, grimacing. What is it supposed to be doing?
It is a tunneler to help dig the mines, allow the miners to focus on actually excavating the veins themselves, while this handles the more open passages. Though it's not really meant to run by itself. There should be a second one that follows behind and puts the supports. Like he gestures to like the wooden supports. This one does the digging. Another one would come through with the supports and the tracks. Well, that was the idea anyway. Like a very obvious layer of disappointment in his voice when he looks at this broken remains of what could have been. You said you wanted to help. I don't suppose you know anything about clockwork.
I don't know if there's a check for that.
I don't think there's a specific check for it. Let me take a quick look. It's probably more of a background than anything else, right? Like, technically speaking, you're from an area that is currently under the control of the Marquis Ducat.
Marquis, yeah.
But, that doesn't necessarily mean that you've worked with them. And certainly you're not an expert, right? But whether you have some familiarity, at least with like, oh, I've seen them and seen the insides once or twice, versus I've never looked close at them before, is up to you,
She's pretty curious. She's probably looked at them a few times. I think I've seen these before, but yeah, the wood is different.
You're unlikely to get the sort of wood needed here. There's certainly plenty of supplies in other clearings, but while Ironroot is plentiful in iron, it shows in its forest is not quite as firm as the stone in its soil. You can tell.
But the Eyrie still want you to do it.
They want me to see if I can get it working with what I have. It's not impossible, but it's difficult.
Yeah. Thinking face.
SMH.
This. As you're thinking and looking in at the different pieces of like wood and things inside of it, Ember, something clicks in your head. Just yesterday, you were actually rifling through a very fine quality desk, an officer's desk. It's like you can't say for it doesn't look like it's made out of the same stuff here, but like moving the drawers in your hand, everything felt pretty nicely crafted, and it seemed like it might have been the personal possession of one of the captains moved down here for like his personal, for his office, right? But you have that thought like, oh, if we need high quality wood, I think I've laid hands on some not long ago. I don't know if that's something you want to talk about or just keep to yourself for now in your back pocket.
She'll keep it to herself and be like, I will try thinking on it. Is there anything else I could help with?
Anything else? I don't know. Perhaps you could convince our guard friends that I'm not about to turn this into a killing machine so that they would stop staring holes in the back of my head. I would appreciate...
Oh, that's just how they are, I think.
Yes, I thought as much. Well then... and like, in that moment, he looks tired. Well then, I don't know if there's much else you can do. Because until I get this working for then, I'm not sure I will have much rest.
Oof. I will continue thinking on it.
If you... well... some familiarity is more than I am accustomed to here, so if you do think of something or see something while you're out and about, since you are given leave to do so, please do let me know.
Of course. What's your name?
Oh, yes, I got caught up in it. I'm Killian Champenois. And you are?
I'm Amber. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Amber.
How do you spell that?
I'm changing his token to have
Thank you.
the name now.
When Killian said they think I'm about to make it a killing machine, did Miffy's ears perk up?
Miffy probably went, oh.
They weren't struck by inspiration?
Well, that was my first thought when I heard about the machine. I was like, we can use that to kill. No. Actually, my first thought was, what if we could redirect the water?
Oh.
If it got working, like, we could redirect the water to, like, maybe flood the place.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be something.
Could be something. They'll all get wet.
Bliss.
I mean...
And then we have to work
If
with
every-
wet.
Or we... brown people. No. Or we just...
Mordio, am I the shortest person in this cave?
Probably. I mean, mice don't tend to be that much, or to be that... well, they tend to be small on, like, the side of creatures, right? But, like, you know, the overall height variance isn't huge, but you're probably not too much smaller than any of the mice, but likely smaller.
Yeah. Just saying,
So yeah.
you know, there's no bad idea in brainstorming, but, we'll keep that near the bottom of the list.
Flooding everything and drowning people?
Yeah, maybe, you know, if we do that one, we should, like, build a raft or something. Or we consider it.
Good idea. I mean, like, I'm trying to think about where we're gonna actually exit, right? Because the water could go anywhere. Sounds like just deeper. So I'm imagining that we're gonna try to be leaving through whatever the entrance is of this place. Like, I don't know where that. It's not really on this map here.
It's
Oh
not.
yeah, do we know as a group where the entrance out of here is?
Yeah,
Good
or were
question.
we like blindfolded when we were put here?
You weren't fully blindfolded or anything, but you did only walk that path once early in the morning. So I wouldn't say it is the most burned into your minds. You have a general idea of what direction it's in, and you know that you did take a like a rope and pulley lift to get down this deep. That's not to say that there aren't other tunnels that meander their way up there, but you came down a lift to get down here. And if your memory is correct, once you're up the lift, it gets a little bit less sprawling labyrinth and a little more you're in a building.
Oh.
Makes sense.
Which has its upsides and downsides. You're less likely to get lost, more likely to run into guards, you know? Especially if they hear the lift coming up. But, you know.
Hear the elevator music playing.
Is there anyone else you wanted to try to talk to here, or are you guys good in the mines?
I think I'm good at least.
I got my mush.
Right, you got your mush.
I just watch Miffy making like mud pies in the dirt.
All right, then. The next, unless you guys have anything else you want to do now, we'll probably, since you spent one time, one cycle in the mess hall, one cycle in the mines, I guess you could do one more mess hall one, like a lunch and dinner, or like a pre-work meal and then a post-work meal kind of deal.
You know what? Yeah, I want to talk to the noble again.
All right. And I was going to say, if there's nothing else, we'll see what happens at night. Yeah, woo!
One at a time. Take your turn.
There you go.
When we were working, did any of us see, what the noble was doing?
Oh, yes. So, not everyone works at the same time. They do it in, shifts. So he probably didn't have the same shift as you guys today. But maybe what it is rather than you approaching him, I don't want to rearrange these tokens every time we travel or everything. We can assume that everyone's moving a little bit around from place to place. In fact, maybe I'll do a little bit of movement with the captains and their.
He's gone. Let's go.
Do this sort of thing, right? But for the most part, people do shuffle around. So maybe in this case, you guys finished your mining shift first, came here, started eating, maybe discussed amongst yourself, and then this noble came back, just absolutely dreadful what they're having me do each day. Oh, Arrow, I don't know how you managed to do both your work and mine. It's entirely terrible.
Arrow strikes me as a Smithers type.
I don't think Arrows has said a single thing this far this session. Yeah.
Let's keep it that way.
Yeah.
So,
yes. So you guys, if you want to beckon him over to your table, or if you want to.
Yeah. Also, when one person learns information, does the group collectively learn it?
I'm assuming that you guys share.
Okay, so. Yeah. Can I learn about the contraption with Killian?
Yeah, I think so. You certainly would have seen it at the very least, and then, assuming Ember shares the details, then I think you're golden.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of golden, if it isn't your lordship, I get up from the table as he approaches, and I make sure he sits down first. And when he sits down, I truly am honored you to sit with us, sir.
After you expressed your desire for Muse, I thought perhaps I myself would recover from the day's events by recounting a tale, and that it could be beneficial to the both of us.
Oh, of course.
Not to say that Arrow here isn't an excellent listener, looking to the mouse, but, tell the same story so many times to the same people and, well, loses a bit of its luster. So, yeah, he'll just start talking. Feel free to just say something else, and it'll be oh, we're now 10 minutes into this conversation. But
I could tell when I saw you, you were a man who can get things done. And I don't want to impose, but I have a bit of a, let's call them a friend. You see, they're looking for a mighty fine supply of wood. Now, I don't know how much pull you have here, but I know you got some knowledge behind those eyes. If you're familiar, perhaps, with the mining camp or the operations, would you happen to know where amongst in this facility I could find some just A+, genuine wood and lumber?
Quality wood, you say? Well, you've done right to seek me out. I am a bit of a seeker, as it were, of valuable things. As for lumber, this deep in Ironroot, it is difficult to come by the quality things. Many of these mines here are built to last just long enough to excavate the veins and collapse on their own after. The roots hold up the city well enough that we don't need these extra structs and passages. But that's not to say that there isn't good quality wood here. Now, depending on the size or scale needed, there's up top, up the lift, there's a records room, one that contains all sorts of maps and recordings of what was excavated and when, as well as who was imprisoned and when. And the bookshelves there, now those were built to last lifetimes, multiple lifetimes.
When he says bookshelves, I kind of like perk up in my seat and like, all right, well, you would be a great librarian, I feel.
With my wealth of knowledge, I've considered it in retirement, but heavy is the head that wears the crown. I've got duties to attend to.
Oh yes, must say it is odd seeing you without said crown, but you got your metaphorical crown on, and definitely see it weighs heavy on you.
It certainly does. To think. And at this, he does the classic noble hand over the forehead. Oh, we were so close to a true breakthrough, weren't we, Arrow? Oh. And then, of course, the Marquisiate comes in. But I will say one thing about those cats. They knew how to treat a prisoner of status. Not like these ruffians.
Yeah. Pardon my French, but whatever fantasy world equivalent we have here, but guys are real mean bastards. I say that just kind of low enough so the guards don't actually hear me.
Right.
Hey, Arrow, you want some bread? I know where we can get some.
Oh no.
Arrow, are you trying to insinuate something to Arrow? I'm not entirely...
Mighty tired of taking orders from two people, I'm assuming.
Are you trying to get Arrow to leave with you for a conversation?
I feel like that's very easy to do.
Yeah, okay.
All right,
Yeah.
so I'll keep the lordship busy.
I'll look interested.
Try your best.
Yeah, well. Miffy, what did you want to talk to Arrow about?
Well, I start with that bread conversation,
Okay.
actually. Just, I'm implying that, I'm still going on with my plan for extra bread for the workers. Have them a little bit, ingratiated to me, perhaps more influenced, perhaps. And I'm doing the same with Arrow. And maybe I can get more of, more information about this former Lord of Ironroot that he won't give out himself. He's only saying the best, right? But what's the worst?
Arrow's not one to shy away from some food in the conversation of more of it. They are very much that their lack of conversationalism isn't just something they do around the Lord, though. It does take a little bit to get words out of them, but they have words to share and words to say, right? Is there anything specific you're asking about the Lord of Ironroot, or do you just want to
How long have you been working for him?
I really want Arrow to have a Bugs Bunny voice, just to make it, thematically appropriate.
I don't know if I have one of those. I don't know if
Just do it. Go with God.
That's fair.
Just go with God. I don't know if I can commit. I have an idea of this character in my head already. Sorry.
Yeah, just go for it.
Yeah, no. I've been serving the Lord of Ironroot for over 10 years now. In his search.
His search, huh?
Yes, ask him and he'll tell you all about it. Looking for an old clearing reclaimed by the forest.
What is this? What would that clearing have? What are you hoping for?
It was called Skullfall. Said to be the site where some great creature was slain in the past. He credits the kill to an old Eyrie prince.
Someone say skull.
Skullfall. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. He credits the claim to an old Eyrie prince. But the mice around here have a legend that it was a mouse's arrow that dealt the killing blow, and that the bow itself was something special.
Interesting. And what would that do for him if it was a Eyrie prince? Would that do anything for him, or is he just curious about it?
He claims to have proof of relation.
Also,
he wants
so
the
could
prestige.
he claim it?
He wants the prestige. He wants prestige not just of the relation of the myth being confirmed, but of the discovery, I think.
And then he got caught up in this business, huh?
It's no surprise. He was sending the garrison out on expeditions into the woodland rather than keeping them along the paths. The Marquisiate found our forts half-staffed.
I see. It all makes sense now. And 10 years, that's a long time. Would you say he's a good master?
Depends on what you need him to do.
For you, I guess, it'd be payment, huh?
No,
No.
I want
What
that
does he
bow.
do for you? You want that bow. An entrepreneur, I understand. Do you perhaps feel that you have relations instead?
Familial? No. But I don't want the Eyrie to claim to be the heroes in yet another story. There's more than just the birds around here.
I agree. In fact, there's many more creatures than the birds here. Wouldn't you say?
There's a nod.
Yeah, I thought so too, looking around. Well, listen, here. I give my share of bread.
Mhm.
Now, I'm not saying anything's guaranteed here. We're still working out the kinks. But you might expect to see more of this later. Maybe give you a little more energy for, doing anything you need to do. If you catch my drift. But, I just want you to let you know that I'm in full support of the Undermice. I'm doing a play on underdog here. The Undermice taking what's right, You're doing a service for him, but you never know when someone's just gonna cut you off and you're caught blindsided, huh? So, you have a backup plan. I hope to see you out there.
Yes. I hope to see you out there too. I hope that none of us are in here much longer.
Working on it.
Alright.
Yeah, I'll stop there.
Mhm. Milo, did you have something you wanted to get out of the noble? Specifically past the wood, or was that the wood the main thing?
Let me think.
You've learned that there's some up the lift. Now the question of getting some up the lift and then back down. That is a little tough because if you're up the lift, you're already halfway out.
Okay.
But unless there's a way to get it without you being up the lift.
All right, so I'm gonna ask him. Now I don't know about you, but I've been asking around. It appears a lot of us were taken around the same time. Were you part of that old corralling when it happened, or have you been here a bit earlier?
I got here perhaps a week before the rest of you all did. I was rather surprised at it all. At first, they seemed content to liberate me from my Marquisiate prison. I thought things were on the return and that the current governess was just going to be a steward until I could, recover from the whole incident. Imagine my surprise when I found out that, no, she, a non-noble born, was going to govern the town instead. Not only that, she had the nerve to throw me in here while I await escort to trial elsewhere. Can you imagine?
Oh, I couldn't possibly. Terrible shame that. Feels like you just can't trust anyone anymore.
Certainly not to level such absurd accusations. Gross misallocation of Eyrie resources. Preposterous.
Well, what would they say you were doing with that? How outlandish was it?
I was looking for something very important. You're a minstrelly sort. You'd appreciate it. Looking for a land of myth said to be very close by, and yet none have found it due to the danger of the woodland. But I, with my systematic explorations, by sending out the guard into the wood, was able to plot a likely location for the former clearing of Skullfall.
Do I know of Skullfall? Can I do a check to do it, or do I just know it?
Let me see. I think because you're from the roads, right? And your homeland is. Are you from the woodland, or are you just and the roads means you've been circling the woodlands, or are you from this around the world? And
just traveling around here.
Okay.
Basically.
Right, then I think you probably, when you hear Skullfall, it's not like a major myth, but it is like a regional one to this southeast corner, right? The whole idea is that there was once this big bird that rearranged the constellations, and then there's different stories about why that stopped, right? The one that he's probably half told you already during the multiple conversations you've had is about Prince Lawrence Windsong, who slayed the beast. Arrow was just saying to Miffy that the mice have a story of one of them slaying it. So there's different stories. In some stories, it's not killed by woodland inhabitants; it dies for other reasons, right? But the general consensus is that it did exist. A clearing was built around its remains, and that clearing has since been lost to time.
Okay.
That's
I'm a man of the world. I've heard that tune once or twice, but hearing you tell it, I can't think of a time I've heard it better.
I whisper to Arrow, my friend's a really good brown noser.
Why, thank you.
He's like the best of them.
What? Say that again?
I think he can brown up a nose like the best of them.
Why, thank you. If we ever do get out of this place, you simply must join one of the expeditions, so that way you can, with your minstrelly talents, create or draw inspiration from the discovery. I'm sure it will be any season now.
All right, I kind of get up close to him. I like get real like on his level, and I go, I've been singing and telling tales about such legendary adventures. It would be an honor to be part of one.
Oh my god. Jeez.
Do you think we're gonna kiss or something?
Honestly, it could happen. I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know. I don't know if I can read a situation that well.
He's a brown noser, not a brown kisser.
Oh god, that's
Yeah.
a whole.
I don't know about that.
And no judgment. No judgment.
No judgment. Listen, I gotta. Listen, I mean, we gotta like go a little farther in the story before we get there.
It's too soon. Too soon.
Can't get the payoff yet.
The the former Lord of Ironroot, lowers his voice as well and says,
What the heck is his name?
says,
You can ask Arrow.
yeah, you could ask Arrow.
I mean, I could ask him, but
Yeah. He probably assumes that you know his name, right? Like, that's
no.
like that kind of level of. But anyway, he lowers his voice as well. If only we were not trapped in here. I alluded to it earlier that you have some friends possessed of certain skills in demand, and now I'm not in a position to make commands as to how you and your companions were to wield them, but I can offer you this. If you are able to get Arrow and myself up the lift, I am aware of the presence of several covert passages through the building up above. Not enough to get us entirely outside, but enough to get us near the threshold. From there may be a guard or two to sprint past or to otherwise incapacitate. They are, after all, good soldiers of the Eyrie, just laboring under the commands of honestly, an illegitimate ruler. But,
I go, well, my lord, it'd be an honor to get you out of here, and that's just I've told many a tale, I've sung many a song, and I'm gonna be frank, you may not like to hear this, but very few of them are well received, where the hero kind of leaves with his denizens still within harm's way.
But you're right. Here I was, thinking that once I had made the discovery, I would have control of the town returned to me by, of course, the viziers would see that, obviously, after such a discovery, there was no doubt as to my claim, but the suffering in the meantime. My time down here has truly taken a toll on my character, my friend.
Now, there may be a little bit of hope. Just one or two people leaving, that's a good ditty you play right before intermission, but if you want the one that'll get the crowd screaming for an encore, you would lean in close and go, I can tell the tale of a whole prisoner ship leaving. That would be one for the history books.
God, how much closer can these guys be to each other?
They keep leaning closer.
They keep leaning closer and closer.
And the camera keeps zooming in more and more.
I'm trying to find the right representation for it. Yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah. Blast, you're right. That would be the way to do it. Though I'll admit I'm concerned, even if all of the prisoners took up their mining picks as weapons, the guards are much better armed, and these canary mercenaries are And like he glances over to the swords on their belts. It's like, too many of these subjects are not trained in in arts of combat. They would. I'm afraid to say that they would not last very long if we were to do a large-scale prison break. We would need a clever plot of some kind to pull off such a thing.
Well, we don't have to decide on anything right now. Just keep that close to your heart.
Mm-hmm.
But say they got the picks and the rocks for the prisoners.
And the pikes.
You know, do you just like crawl underneath the table and whisper that?
The swords, the spot, the pikes, don't forget.
I
Like pushes my head back down. Get out of here.
yeah. But if we were to provide some sort of armament, perhaps for everyone, I think we'd stand a better chance.
Certainly even the odds, but are these citizens trained to fight? To kill?
Between this labor and freedom, I think it'll motivate many people. And sometimes when you get a song in your heart, you can work miracles.
So true.
This guy's gonna be
This guy's gonna be what, Miffy?
This guy's gonna be first up the lift once we start the chaos. It's like, fight on, my citizens, and then like leaves.
We'll see about that. I mean, that would be disappointing if he lived.
First up the lift, first to die. That sounds like what people are hoping for. One or the
He's
other.
going first up and then first down, as fast as he possibly can.
Dun dun dun. No, no affection for the wasteful ruler of the town. Wasteful former ruler.
Yeah.
All right. Ember, was there anything you wanted to get up to now that we're back over here or hearing any of these conversations? Any follow-up things or directions of inquiry? Oh, you're muted if you're talking.
Yeah. Ember.
No! Oh yeah, you are muted. I see the icon.
Yeah. This deserves one of these. Hold on. Unuse that.
Got it.
Oh,
There
There
you
you
go.
are. There you are.
It's all right. I was just asking.
Bing.
If you... It's okay.
I do not have anything else to bring up. I am helping Milo by looking at very interested in the goings on and nodding at appropriate places.
All right. So in that case, unless anyone has anything else pressing,
I do.
oh, you do. All right, Miffy.
What do I feel like this is a good time to quote contaminate a thing? Or should I do? Can I do that at night? I don't know. I managed to do a hole in the wall. Like, am I able to get out whenever I want, or like?
So the hole in the wall thing was done while Milo was making a big distraction, and it's not like in your cells or anything. But so your options here for when you would do that. You could try to do it now. It is relatively active here at the moment. Your best bet would probably be at night, but that does involve sneaking past the guards outside the cell, or at least hoping that they're distracted enough that that's doable. That would probably be the one where it's easiest here. You'd have like that one check, and if you can make it past them, you're probably in the clear. Whereas here, it's probably a bit harder due to the number of people and the level of plausible deniability you're trying to give to Vera. But it's up to you.
Wait, so if I do it at night, how would I get out of my cell?
Ember has the
distraction?
keys.
Oh, right, you have the keys. That's right.
You guys are capable of initiating the escape at any time, right? Like this is purely a how do we make our escape easier adventure right now. We're more likely to succeed, I suppose. right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, I do have, like, a good sneak, I believe.
Hmm.
So I could do this at night if I wanted.
I think you're the only one among us who has sneak as a feat.
Yeah, let me read this. Okay, risks. Break something, carrying, or the environment. Mark where, draw unwanted attention. Okay, plunge into danger, seize the chance to act and run to a more dangerous... Okay, can you tell me what it would be like if I attempted a sneak?
If you attempted a sneak, basically you would roll finesse. On a 10 plus, you do it. On a 7 to 9, you do it, but either a risk of your feat. So like for sneak, the risks are like break something, draw attention, plunge into danger, right? Or you would get exhaustion. And on a 6 or lower, the GM says what happens next, which means I'm in control. I can have you get caught. I can have you succeed, but perhaps your fake spoiling accidentally does real spoiling. You know, like I have all sorts of latitude to decide.
Okay, so my sneak ability is not really even an ability.
So sneak is the attempt a roguish feat move.
Okay, I see.
Trust
So-
and fate, yeah.
Yeah, so basically, there's a bunch of roguish feats, which are things that you might expect to do as, you know, vagabonds, right? Like, basically, everyone's expected to be at least partially classed into rogue in this sort of game, right? So, the roguish feats are all like pick lock, sleight of hand, pickpocket. All of you have the potential to do them, and just attempt a roguish feat is do one that you are proficient in. And trust fate, I believe, is do one that you are not proficient in. But you can still attempt to do all of them.
Okay. Okay. I got this far. Unless you guys want to do the wood. Like, how are you guys planning to get the wood? It sounded like you wanted to get the wood, help the cat. But what were you gonna do with the machine?
I mean, I'm just sort of putting my feelers around, no pun intended, to like find opportunities to like advance. Like, I don't really have the intention of doing a lot of the things I'm not really promising, but like putting out there. I'm just trying to like feel my way around right now.
What about you, Ember? Did you have an incentive to help the cat?
I want to see what he does with it.
Okay, so does me like I can hold off because like there's the potential that I could be caught. So if you guys want to do like one of your plans first before I do this, I want to let you guys do that. So like, do you want to try to get the wood quest first?
I'm still trying to figure out how exactly to do that one, because I think it would be easiest to just like steal a drawer from the desk, but I don't know how much wood that would give, and it would be kind of obvious.
Yeah, like you saw the gears, right? So like to make a gear, something like a drawer would be fine. But yes, like you said, it'd be a little obvious that it was stolen, right?
Yeah.
Your big problem with using the desk is mainly the time it would take between removing it, having it be usable, right? Like it's probably pretty long compared to the removing it, someone notices it's gone, why is someone stealing our stuff? You know?
I mean, well, you know, we could not steal it. We could try to convince the guards, like, hey, we saw you, do you happen to have such a thing? Maybe you can give it if you want this project really done.
Yeah, I mean, Ember doesn't even need to lie. Ember was in the room getting medical treatment
that's right.
yesterday,
Yeah.
right?
So it could be like, yeah, I saw it. You want to use that?
My vibes of the captain say no, but I could be wrong.
It's true. The vibes of the captain, I think, Ember's read of them is probably right. The captains probably don't want to do it. But you did also sense that there is a bit of a division in the employees here, right? There's a divide between the captains, or rather the Canaries as a whole, versus those Eyrie guards, who seem to be moving with a little bit more purpose. Maybe that's something you could exploit if you chose to.
Let's see. Okay. Let's say.
I think Ember would like to question the guards if they know what, like, if that device gets going, do things get easier?
Oh, like for the prisoners? Or
Oh,
like in
yeah,
general?
or for the guards,
Mhm.
or what?
Okay, I think that makes sense. So you want to know, like, what its intended use is, who it's helping,
Yeah.
what it means. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think. You're just doing the general Canaries, or like the Eyrie guards specifically? The one.
No, the General Canaries.
Yeah, it's just the general Canaries. Yeah, I'm not gonna make you make a second roll for the group of Canaries for this one, based off of the success early, the high quality success
Nice.
earlier, because I think they're just like, yeah, the Eyrie really wants it working, so that way they can figure out how to make their own. Right? Eyrie's pretty jealous of how much the Marquis was able to get out of the mines in their short time controlling the town, right? So they're like, we need that. And the Canaries are basically like, yeah, they want to make it all work too. They have a couple of them that are in various states of disrepair. The Marquis was able to evacuate the functional ones. But if they get it working, then probably they'll be able to process or expand the mines a lot quicker. And that just benefits the Eyrie, and sounds like the mercenaries too would be quite happy if that happens. Not just for getting rid of, not like saying like, oh, they're getting rid of the prisoners or anything like that, but like the mercenaries feel like, this is a temporary gig. If the mine gets up and running, there might be new opportunities,
Mm-hmm.
They're already thinking ahead about the next score.
Okay. So, kind of done a lot of exploration, at least in terms of possibilities of how to get out of here.
Yeah. And if you permit a GM recap, it seems like you've got Miffy's very keen on fighting out, right? So we can try to fake spoil some food supplies and then feed up everyone, get them nice and well fed, and then give them weapons, and we can do violence, right? We've got, if you can make it up past the lift, the Lord of Ironroot claims to know some secret passages that will help you bypass a lot of the upper levels. The cat Champenois over here does have a tunneling machine, which we might be able to use to divert water or to other ends. And let's see, am I missing it? Oh yes, and then there was just explore down the rivers and hope, or maybe up the river rather than down it, right? And hope that we find a way out somewhere. Does that cover most of the things? I think that covers most of them.
Our nobleman friend?
Yeah,
We're
like
trying to get buddy with them.
yeah, he can help you with the secret passages if you can get him up past the lift. He doesn't seem to have.
Trust him, if we trust him.
Yeah, or if you and if you trust him. Yep.
Okay.
So I think
Yeah, that tracks.
yeah, I
Got a
think-
lot of irons in the fires right now.
Yep, you do. And like I think it's a matter of one, where do you get the wood from if you do get it for the tunneler, right? So Champenois can theoretically use the high quality wood of the desk or perhaps of the bookshelves up above But if it's the bookshelves up above, why are you guys going up if you can come back down, right? So there might you might need to try to think about that. And then if it's the desk, how do you get it there without being implicated or otherwise it causing an issue? And I think that talks through everything. So time really flew by. I meant to have a break halfway through, but we are nearing 11.
Oh goodness.
Is there you guys want to debate your course of action? If we go a little over, that's fine with me. But like, do you want to debate our course of action, decide at least which, we have a lot of irons in the fire, but like which ones are we prioritizing? Which ones are the ones we most which ones are the ones we most would like to succeed? That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I would say,
But
personally, I do not want to get like ganged up on by the guards. So any way that like keeps attention, I'm sorry, Miffy, but keeps attention away from us. Like, I'm just trying to see if my plan right now is seeing if I can like secure something of value, so I can bribe one. We can bribe some of the guards to like just let us go.
So far, Ember's plan is convince the guards that it would be worth their time to get quality wood to the cat. Because if they think that things will be better for everyone, including them, if that machine gets done, and all the machine really needs is, good quality wood that's not really being used for anything helpful.
Okay.
Glance.
Yeah, no, makes sense.
It wouldn't be terrible if some good quality wood just, ended up in the right place at the right time. And progress made. And I know that our cat friend would be very grateful.
Certainly seems like it. And then there'd be a functioning tunneling machine. Wouldn't that be something?
Really cool.
And what about Miffy?
Well, I mean, so out of the plans that we have, I feel like we only have two, part of one, right? So, like, I'm totally fine with doing, getting the wood, whatever means we want to the cat, whether it's just like convincing the guards to use that desk. But I feel like there's not really a plan yet to actually leave. I feel like there can be a combination of all these things, right? So we could get the cat, the machine to do whatever, right? They're afraid of it being a fighting machine, but it can also direct water. It can tunnel into mines. We could use that to our advantage somewhat. There's still like we can, befriend, or what we already have, like the noble. So like we should stick close to the noble when we do eventually get to the lift to lead us out of there. But to actually create the opportunity to do so, I feel like we still haven't figured that out yet. And so that's why I'd like to incite something.
Yeah, I mean, as we're talking about this, I am thinking of perhaps a plan that could use violence. Keeping that in mind.
Go on.
I mean, we do have this guy. We kind of know. We have the Lord, and we kind of know his deal in terms of, fucking over some of the townsfolk, from what I hear, and his sort of deflecting story he told us. Maybe, we can, put the screws to him a little bit and find like something to like use him as the bargaining chip itself. Like, you hate this guy to the guards. I'm assuming that if we just like make that definitive, something that would work. I don't know. It's just a thought.
Sorry.
Or we throw them to Miffy.
No, sorry. I'm just trying to understand. So you're saying like we use the noble as a hostage? Is that what you're saying?
Hostage, or we try to like extort him for a favor. I'm not sure what that would be. I'm still trying to like wrap my mind around it. Just like a small idea beginning to form.
I just don't think he has any power here unless he does have money hidden away. Like, I don't know if they would care if I, like, held him at knife point.
I mean,
Yeah.
not that...
Might be like, do a flip.
I mean, not that you're the one to do violence, like, we give them to him. We give them to the guards, or find someone who maybe was wrong.
But they already have him prisoner.
Well, we could maybe find someone who, you know, has extra vocational hatred towards him. I know, it's just an avenue that I see if I can explore a little bit. So nothing set in stone, just a thought.
Okay. Yeah, I think we've touched on a good bit in this summary, and like what people want is like we have a good number of potential leads. Many of them give you something to do either immediately to help or towards the tail end, like once you're already on your way out, but very few connect the two, right? You currently don't have that middle part, right?
We have like the thought of a plan, but we don't have the means, and we might have the opportunity, we don't know how to make it work.
Got it. All right, well that's good to know.
Well, here's that. Sorry, not to drag this on even longer, but we also didn't consider the possibility of using someone who's already getting out of here to our advantage, right? Because they are pulling people occasionally and, you know, whatever, trialing them and they leave or whatever. We could use this I don't know how exactly, but we could consider that as like the opportunity to enact whatever.
Yeah. Guess we wouldn't really know unless we pay attention. So like we just have to predict who it is and like if they would have the means to get a word out or something.
Yeah.
I did mention earlier that this group in the bottom right of the prison, that tends to be the group they're drawing from, which granted, you know, you still don't know specifically who they're going to be grabbing, but that at least narrows it down a little bit if that remains consistent.
And we don't know if they're actually being let go.
Also
trial.
true. You do not know.
So like,
We don't, but
we also run the risk of someone, if we like get a message across with them, the guards could find it and like implicate us in something.
Well, it doesn't have. The message doesn't have to be a written note. It could be talking to the denizens, saying like, "Hey, can you make sure the lift goes back down when you go back up?"
Interesting. Okay. Possibility.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, there's no like guarantee that would work, but
There's no guarantee anything will work.
That's true. That's what the dice are for.
Yeah.
pesky dice.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. We got a lot of stuff. So we'll wrap up here today in terms of, you know, the actual game. I hope everyone had fun getting into the game, getting into character, and exploring this relatively constrained start, which I do apologize for throwing it at you right away, but I don't know, I think it's also, I did wanted to give you, one of the things I really wanted to do was make sure you guys could start the escape at any time, even if there's maybe the plan's not exactly as clean as you would like it, right? It's like theoretically you have the tools to do the bare minimum escape. So now let's just see how we can make it better. But yeah, I hope you guys had fun, and I think we're back next week. We'll check the schedules. We'll figure that out.
Hey, player just got here, but we're leaving.
Oh no! Well, welcome and goodbye.
I believe there's going to be a VOD available on YouTube at some point.
Yes, there certainly will. There'll be a VOD available on YouTube and available on Twitch for while it lasts. So, join us again next week for the second half of this prison break. Oh yeah, did you hear that?
You glitched out.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
I heard that everything went quiet. I was like, oh, what's going on?
Sunspot.
Join it again.
Do it again.
Can we do it again? All right. Hold on. Let's see. Where does it start with?
Okay, so I think I was doing a performance. Ember was trying to be hurt. Miffy was tunneling through some rock or something.
Yeah. There was a
Yeah.
There's a goldfinch noble. There was a French cat. There was a
peach ring canary. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yep. Oh, one of those.
We found some dirt. Miffy put it in their pockets.
Found dirt.
Yeah.
Murderous threats.
Yeah.
Mostly kept in the inside thoughts, not the outside thoughts.
No mushrooms, unfortunately.
I think like
No
the
mushrooms.
first monologue Miffy had the F word in it, which I was kind of surprised about.
Why?
No, you're just such an even killed. You even killed a partner. You know, I didn't expect it to come from your brain mouth.
I'm all there. Everything. So I'm well put together.
You sure are.
Miffy's non-talking expression is perfect for her just asking why and then making that face at someone and watching them decide how they're going to answer that question without being
perfect. They already have the clown makeup, you know, the Joker makeup.
Oh.
dirt.
Want to know how I got this scar in my ear?
I've got a pocket of dirt.
And you sure do.
I mean, Ember does have the pocket sand ability. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Also true. Yeah. So you probably also have a pocket of dirt.
Pocket dirt.
Always.
Yeah.
If he does now too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I didn't get to say what happened today.
No, you didn't. Unfortunate. But all right.
Anyway, thank you.
Anyway, yes. Now
Yeah,
we're
this was
actually
pretty fun.
closing out. Check the schedule when it comes out, but there should be another one next Thursday, assuming everyone's schedule is still clear. So
It should be
Good.
just like, not to bring it up like right now. It's just like the week after that is Halloween. I do have plans for that. So
oh yeah, no
Okay.
problem, no problem at all.
Mhm.
We will endeavor to run every Thursday when we can, and if we can't, we can just take a week off. Unless there's a bunch of weeks off, in which case I will try to find another weekday to play on. But wait, is this RootRPG like the board game? Yes, it is RootRPG like the board game. There is an official RootRPG that I don't want to say goes with the board game, but inspired by the board game. So yes, we actually
pretty keen
have.
so far.
Yeah, we actually even have a woodland map. The RPG has. Oh wait, let me. How can I force the camera? The camera's stuck on the other one. Well,
Alas.
that's okay. Yeah, there we
Oh.
go. There we go.
Yay.
Yeah, we have a woodland map where the RPG actually gives you rules to set it up almost like it was in a board game. It's very nice. I very much like the idea of it, and we'll see over the course of the campaign how we end up liking the system. We were actually pretty light on mechanics today, but I think that's I think that's to be expected. We're easing into it, so
Yeah.
all right. Goodbye.
Thanks for coming,
Yeah.
y'all.
Thanks for coming.
Follow
Thanks for
everybody
playing.
here. Follow them.
Yeah.
They're in the description, in the title. Do it.
Follow your nose.
Do it.
And if you're not subscribed to us, why not? And sorry, not subscribe. Followed. You don't have to subscribe. Follow.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Why aren't more people following you? What the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with you? Get your shit together. My God.
No, it's fine. But do it. But do it, maybe.
Yes, do it.
It's fine, but also it's appreciated.
Thank you, guys. Bye
Thanks,
bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Goodbye. Good night.
Bye.